We first met Yankees prospect Tyler Austin in the Yankees Instructional League in Tampa, Florida, and then followed him to the Arizona Fall League, where he will be returning in the next few weeks. The outfield prospect has worked feverishly to refine his skills at each level and spent the 2014 season at AA Trenton, where he's put together a consistent season at the plate. Last week, we hopped a train to Trenton to find out more about the progress of Tyler Austin.
He's just hitting the ball from line to line, hitting it very hard.
Like right now, like 3 weeks ago to now, he's hit a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty happy for him.
He's been really, really good for us. His confidence is really high. And now he's using the whole field, and he's staying through the zone, and he's doing a great job.
As of late, he's starting to thrive. He's trending upward, and batting average is rising, and home run totals are rising, extra base hits are rising, and having a chance to play every day. He's doing very well. I'm very happy to see him in there, just on a daily basis, because it's been very difficult the last couple of years for him.
After missing most of last season, Tyler Austin has been finding his groove. A nagging wrist injury limited the 22-year-old to just 83 games last season and knocked him out of the Arizona Fall League prematurely. Time on the DL can really stall a prospect's development, and early on this year, Tyler still felt the effects of his injury. But as the season moved on, he developed into one of Trenton's best hitters.
It's just one of those things that you gotta get through somehow. Unfortunately, it took me out of the Fall League. It took me out of the season for a lot of last year. Took me out of big league camp, but it's just one of those things that you got to get through, and I feel like it's made me stronger mentally and physically coming back from something like that.
Started off a little slow, and I just told him, stick with it, trust your work. He goes in the cages, he does his early work, and in the beginning it wasn't paying off during the games, but don't detour from what you've been working on, and stick with what got you here. In the beginning, his wrist was still bothering him, I think, especially the cold weather. If you don't have your hands, you can't hit. I don't know any guy that their wrist or their fingers or something bothering them. It's tough to hit that way. But now I think he's really healthy, and his talent is showing.
His overall numbers in 2014 may not jump off the page, but in the last few months he's been coming on strong. And the healthier he becomes, the more excited the Yankees coaching and top brass becomes.
What you're seeing from Tyler is he's starting to elevate the ball a little bit more, starting to get the ball in the air, which means he's going to produce a few more home runs, which is great. I think Tyler's starting to do that. But here again, I think he's starting to realize what he's capable of doing, starting to look for pitches that he can handle. And again, a young hitter takes some time to do that, and I think he's starting to come into his own. He's
been really, really good, and his confidence is high. He's hitting breaking balls, he's hitting changeups, he's hitting fastballs, he's hitting all pitches, but he's hitting strikes. Your strike zone discipline your strike zone is good, and you're going to have to give yourself a chance. And that's what he's been doing, and finish up here the last 5 weeks doing that. I think it's going to be really good. I told him in May, he was frustrated because he wasn't hitting that well, but I was like, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, so it's still going, and hopefully he can finish up strong.
Marcus and I have been working a lot this whole season, just trying to come up with a consistent routine, consistent plan at the plate, and lately it's started to pay off. Mainly the big thing is just getting a good pitch and not missing them. Early in the season I was missing a lot of good pitches to drive, and lately I haven't been, so hopefully we can keep that rolling.
Austin feels confident now that his injuries are behind him. He is aiming at soon moving to the top of the farm system.
He's made a tremendous improvement, and coming out of spring training, it was a concern with some injuries, and he's had some injuries in the past, and I think the biggest goal for Tyler was to stay healthy enough to play a full season. Well, he's done that.
The hardest thing, Justin, up here is just the pitching. I mean, obviously the guys are better here. Fastballs are better, and they put it where they want to for the majority of the time. That wrist injury obviously set me back developing up here, but I actually happy it happened because it helped me understand that you can't take things for granted, and you got to continue to work hard to come back.